In this video, we'll work on building this. Create a new file and delete the default cube. Press Shift+A and add a circle. Press S plus numpad 2 to scale 2x. Tab into Edit mode. With all the vertices selected, press F to add a face. The goal is to create a funnel-like object. Press I and drag the mouse to inset. Switch to face, select Option and press numpad 1 for front view. Enable proportional editing, press G then Z and drag down to create a bowl-like structure. Select middle face and delete it by pressing X and selecting face. Press A to select all. Switch to Material Properties and add a color. I'll create two colors, white stripes and black stripes. With all the faces selected, click on Select Menu and then Checker Deselect. Assign the black stripes color to the selected faces. Let's switch to Material Preview and verify. Switch to Edge Select mode. Hold Alt/Option and left-click on the edges of the inner circle. Make sure proportional editing is enabled. Press numpad 7 for top view. Press R and drag mouse to rotate. Press numpad 1 for front view. Then press E then Z to extrude on Z-axis. Use proportional editing to scale inward. Hold Option plus left-click on the outer edge of the circle. Press numpad 1 for front view and press E to extrude. Use Shift plus Control while dragging mouse to extrude in steps. Press S to scale outward. Press numpad 7 for top view. Select the edges as shown with Shift plus Option/Alt and click. Press Command/Control plus B to bevel. Also add a solidify modifier and increase thickness to 0.02. Also add a subdivision surface modifier and change the levels to 2. Verify in Material Preview. Now, let's append the logo spheres that we had created previously. Locate the blend file and double-click on it. Double-click on Collection and select Sphere Logos. Right-click on Sphere Logo Collection and choose Select Objects. Align the spheres as shown here. Now select the funnel object. Add a rigid body simulation in Physics tab. Set type to passive and shape to mesh. Now select all the sphere objects. Shift plus left-click on one of the spheres. Add a rigid body simulation. Set the shape to sphere. Now click on Object menu, Rigid Body, and click on Copy from Active. This copies rigid body simulation of active sphere to all other selected spheres. Let's play the simulation and verify. Let's increase the speed of animation. In Scene Properties, Rigid Body World, increase speed to 5 and replay animation. It's too fast, 2 should be good. Let's also scale down the spheres. Select all spheres from Outliner. Press S to scale and hold Shift plus Control for step scale down. Replay the animation. Scale down the dimensions to 0.3 and apply the rotation and scale. Now let's start working on animating the camera. Select camera and set location and rotation to 0 on all axes. Set rotation of x-axis to 145 and z-axis to 90. Go to camera view and adjust the location. In the Dope Sheet editor, make sure the playhead is at frame 1. Add keyframes on location and rotation by pressing I key. Move playhead to frame 12. Adjust the location on z-axis and rotation on x-axis as shown. Then add keyframes on location and rotation by pressing I key. Move playhead to frame 24. Adjust the locations and rotation as shown. Then add keyframes on location and rotation by pressing I key. Adjust the keyframe position as shown. Update camera location keyframe on frame 24. Add another keyframe as shown at frame 36 for camera location. Let's play the animation now. Move around the keyframes as shown for a much smoother camera movement. Next, I want the camera view to spin and zoom in. Move playhead to frame 84 and add a keyframe on rotation of Z-axis to 180. Also add a location keyframe as shown to create zoom in effect. Also add a location keyframe at frame 108 to zoom in further. Set the frame count to 120. Let's play the animation now. Let's set the frame count to 180. Move around the keyframes as shown to adjust the animation timing. Now I want the spheres to fall into a dark space instead of gray. Let's add a plane to do that. Set the dimension to 6 meters across. Add a material to the plane and set base color to black. Move it down along Z-axis as shown. Update the keyframe at 144 and adjust the location as shown. Now the camera zooms in further. Now switch to Graph Editor. Expand the camera channel. Click on Z location and press Shift+H to hide the rest. Press A to select all, right-click and select Linear in interpolation mode. Switch back to Dope Sheet Editor. By default, the interpolation is set to Bezier, which eases in /out between keyframes. With linear interpolation, there is no ease in and out of keyframes. With this, the animation is complete. Now let's look at rendering the animation. To do that, go to Output tab. Select the output folder and type in a file name. Let's set frame end to 3. Adjust the render engine settings as shown. Before rendering, let's add an environment texture. Click on Shading menu and select World Object. Click on yellow dot next to Color and choose Environment Texture. If you don't have HDRI images, you can download it from polyhaven.com. I downloaded the Citrus Orchard Road for this animation. Select the downloaded HDRI image. Switch to rendered view. This is how the world around looks. Now let's render the animation. The selected frame range would be rendered as an image sequence. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.